Yo,
Sorry. Okay. Can you hear me okay now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, great. Thanks. You talked about the knee that he landed where you were on the ground. For many years, of course, when you fought in the UFC, you couldn't do legally that move. How have you adapted to, since being in one championship, to these rules where this obviously is a legal move? And which set of rules do you like better?
I like these roles. Like I said, it's a progression of a fight, right? So I went down on my back. I was coming up for an underhook. Adriano had me posted. He blasted the knee. The fight's over. It's done. I don't get any more concussions. It's just done. And it was a different position I'd been in. Like I said, Adriano did a good job of using his length. He fully extended me and landed at the knee.
Okay. And you said you're going to take some time off. Any idea when you might be coming back?
Yeah, maybe the fall, maybe Christmas. We'll decide what I want to do. I mean, I got 6 fights left, I believe, on my contract. And for me, I'm in the room talking to my teammates. I'm like, you know what, like 6 fights left. Let's make it the best of it. Maybe I'll try my hand. The beautiful thing about one championship is I'm sure if I go home and I let Chacho know, I was like, you know what, I want to try a kickboxing fight. Why not? Like everybody's so focused on like always trying to be the best in the world. And don't get me wrong, I'm trying to be the best in the world. But when you've been the best in the world for 6 years straight, it's almost like you don't want to put that pressure on yourself, right? So for me, I'm like, shit, why not? Let's maybe try a kickboxing fight with big gloves and say, I had a professional kickboxing fight. So we'll see. I mean, I'm not even thinking about anything and trying to get back home with my wife and kids and see what's up.
Would you want at some point a rematch with Adriano?
If I work my way back up to that point, right? I mean, I think he pretty much finished. He finished me, right? So, I mean, if the fight was closer, the fight was, contested, or I had him in some trouble or whatnot, then yeah, I can see one of a rematch. But he went out there, did his thing. He put me away. I've never been finished before in my whole entire career, in profession. I've been finished in the gym before, but. Yeah, I mean, I think Adriano can go off now and defend his belt more. Some uppercomer, Kyra Akbatov, or wherever else he wants to fight.
All righty. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eddie. The next question is from MMA Fighting, Damon Martin. Damon, please.
Hey, DJ, I know you had talked about the rules difference before this fight when you were talking about the Peter Yan Aljamain Sterling fight, and then kind of in a bizarre twist, it ends up happening in your fight. Do you feel like, I mean, obviously, I know you said you wish that rule change would happen, but I mean, is that just kind of like the evidence of that move works? It unfortunately didn't go your way tonight, but obviously that is part of the sport you actually support.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, it ended the fight. I wasn't stalling one bit. You know what I mean? Like I was trying to get up and fight, and I got blasted with a knee. My very first fight in one championship, I did it to Yuya Wakamatsu, and I'm getting to finish. Like it's meant, the rules meant to be there to keep the fight progressing and end the fight, right? So if Adriano wasn't able to land that knee, yes, I would still been in that fight, but he would have to do something totally different. So I'm totally content. What happened with, I'm not like that rule should be taken out. That's what the rule was. Adriano used it to his advantage, and I was on the other end of the stick.
You've never been a guy to make excuses, and even though in one championship you've been maybe slightly undersized against some of the bigger guys at this flyweight division, you've never made that excuse. But did you feel any of that with Adriano? I mean, we saw the size difference in there, but in terms of like his power, things like that, like did you notice that in the fight?
No, not at all. Like everything he did, we knew exactly. Like when I tell you guys this, we knew that he was going to run, circle a lot. And there's two ways you can play this game. You can play the game as, okay, I'm going to sit back and wait for you to cross distance and play the range game, or I'm going to come get you. I decided to come get him to keep the fight pressing. And I fought guys like this before. John Knotson, he's another guy who likes to counter and wait for guys to cross distance, land the big punch. But that's never been my style, right? My style is always to go out there and push the pace and get things going. And in the first exchange we had, when I landed that knee to the stomach and they came close, I almost landed that knee in the clinch, just inches away from the jaw. If I would have landed that would have been end of the night, I believe. But, it's the fight game. It happens.
Last one for me. You mentioned, maybe you get the itch to do a kickboxing fight, or maybe you do a grappling match. I know obviously One Championship does that as well, but I know this is only a question I'm asking because unfortunately you came out on the wrong end of this one. But how much does the championship matter to you at this point in your career? Because it seems like, you were champion for so long in the UFC. You've kind of been there, done that part of it. Would you like to have kind of some fun fights and things like that right now? Not to say you can't get back to the championship, but like, how much does that weigh on you now?
I mean, I think at the end of the day, one of the things that the reason why I came on One Championship is that I have options, right? Like I feel if I want to do a kickboxing match, I can do that. Obviously, yes, I can go back into mixed martial arts, work my way back up to a title shot. But, I'm just going to go home and just chill and relax. I'm like, what do you want to do next? Like, would you like to try your hand at kickboxing? Like maybe I try kickboxing, I go out there and I get the bricks blown off me. But at the end of the day, it's about trying and exploring. Like you get one career. Right. You get one career and I want to make the best of it. And to be able to say that I've done a professional kickboxing under One Championship will be dope. So, we go home, relax, let my body heal and go from there.
Thank you, DJ.
Thank you.
Thank you, Damon. Next question from Nisi Icasiano, IB Times.
Hi, DJ. Can you hear me?
Yep. Here, loud and clear.
To some, you fighting at 135 pounds doesn't sit well. I believe this was also asked during the pre-fight press conference. But after this fight against Adriano Moraes, do you plan to stick around at flyweight, or are you already thinking of moving down to strawweight?
I can't make strawweight, and if I could, I wouldn't want to go through, the body. I have no interest in drinking 2 gallons of water for 2 weeks straight to make 125. It's just, I'm in that part of my career now where I'm not worried. I mean, yes, it's a disadvantage that I have to worry about with the size difference, but I'm not worried about it. Like fights, I had a good talk with Eddie Alvarez out here and he was like, dude, everything you did was perfect. Like you pushed them, you crossed the distance, you're throwing good exchanges, weren't really overextending. And, you came up, you got hit with the knee and, it is what it is.
Thanks, DJ.
Thank you, Nisi. Next question from Jim Barceloni from Miami Herald. Jim, please proceed with your question.
All right. Can you hear me okay, DJ?
Yep.
Okay, great. Hey, what does it say about Adriano? I mean, got a big victory, obviously, over you tonight. And just especially to American fans. I know he trains here in South Florida, American Top Team, but he's been at one. And just how this can sort of pick up his legacy or his criteria with the American fans.
Yeah, I think, for Adriano is a good win for him, a great performance. Went out there and finished me. And I think for him, it's just him, keep on writing his story and getting introduced more to American fans. He's just got to keep on being active and fighting and put on great performances.
And tonight was the one on TNT April series debut. And geez, we had a little bit of everything tonight, it seemed. What were your thoughts of just bringing this over here and you helping get this over here and some familiarity to this, to America?
Yeah, I thought it was a good show. I think One Championship did an amazing job collaborating with One on TNT. And, we had a little upset with, sorry about that. There was a little upset with the Eddie Alvarez and iuri lapicus. It happens, right? I'm a type of guy where you look at the results and you move on with your life. If you sit here, when I've lost to Dominic Cruz, Brad Pickett, I sit there and I dwell on it. And it did absolutely nothing for me, right? So for me, it was an amazing night for One Championship, for Adriano Moraes. And now it's on to the next one.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. The next question is from Dylan Bulka, My MMA News. Dylan, please.
Hey there, Demetrious. I was noticing the fact that you've mentioned a couple of times the desire to take some kickboxing kind of bouts there. And I'm kind of curious in a broader sense, because One has also done, submission grappling, left way, even just a myriad of martial arts. Are there any other arts you're interested in competing in with One?
I think the biggest one is probably kickboxing. I have no interest in Muay Thai and little gloves. I think kickboxing, submission grappling would be dope, but a lot of things can happen in submission grappling. You can, tear your ACL, LCL, some major ligaments, and now keep you out of competition for a long time. So I've always been a big fan of kickboxing, K1 days, and seeing the guys throw the combination and how they're able to cross distance. And it's one aspect of it. So like I said, I have a little more time left in my professional career, and I don't want to look back on it and be like, man, I should have did a kickboxing match. I had the opportunity to, but like I said, this is all stuff that's coming to my brain now when I'm in the room with my teammates, and I'm just like, you know what, like let's just enjoy this, and maybe we do a kickboxing fight. We'll see.
Awesome. Thanks for the time, Demetrious.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dylan. Next question from Nick Atkins, South China Morning Post.